Playing no more. Taking my headphones off. I'm done.
Huh?
That guy does not deserve any awards.
No, we're now live.
I repeat, he still doesn't deserve any awards.
I keep hearing it off the right, there we go. Okay, what I say, ladies and gentlemen, I ask for your patience. Bear with me. Right, let's hit the record button. Maybe if I record in cloud next time. And clock. Okay. I thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you for waiting, because we know that every time the boys from Bossk saddle up, it's an important moment for you. And here we are again, ladies and gentlemen, for the latest episode of the solar system, if not the galaxy's, if not the universe's greatest podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the latest edition of the boys from Bossk. Whoop, whoop. And I'm joined by my compatriot, the big Crusty. What was it? Big.
That's the 10.
And I am CJ Fett today, so it's quite nice. As always with this time of year, it gets a bit quiet.
Black Wookie, if anyone wants to know.
The giant black Wookie. And that's not a euphemism for my so please don't, No, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. A lot of big releases have come out over the past couple of weeks, and only one stands tall, ladies and gentlemen. Only one stands above them all, dangling from a string, and that one is Spider-Man: No Way Home. And it's Spider-Man's come a long way, and I think he may be an even bigger hero. Well, he's now a bigger hero than any of the other heroes, including, I think, Spider-Man and Batman, by a long measure. And to think the little kid from Brooklyn could have climbed to the heights he now has, that he's well on his way to making $2 billion dollars, I think it's correct saying, not pounds, $2 billion in the worldwide film market alone. And he's devastating the competition to the point that he's taking some big scalps on his way, some very big scalps. He's just like, shing, see you later. Shing, see you later. One of those being The Matrix, which he took out early. I think The Matrix came out a week after Spider-Man did.
Yeah, 8 days. 8 or 9 days.
And when I tell you, The Matrix is not a bad film, it's I quite enjoyed it, and I think it was more like the first Matrix than Matrix 2 or 3 in terms of action, but it was still a very well-made film. It was very well paced. It had some great actors in it. Carrie-Anne Moss, again, Marvel need to give her some of that Disney money and get her in a Marvel film, because I know she took some time out to have kids, but she's good. But even with Keanu, the man who could do no wrong to fandom, no matter how bad a film he makes, Bill and Ted's, just saying, he can do no wrong. His scalp got taken by Spider-Man mercilessly. And then this week, film 355. Now, I don't know a huge amount about the 355, but already it's got an almighty cast from what I hear. Let me get into this. Right, so the 355, just as an example of the type of scalps it's already taken, had a cast of what is some of actually a pretty damn amazing cast. You had Jessica Chastain, Penelope Cruz. Okay, this one, a Bing Bing fan. Who the I'm not lying. Bing Bing fan. Diane Kruger, Pablo Scola, Marcelo Cruz, Jason Fleming. Jason Fleming's been in a lot of weird films. And Lupita Nyong'o, who she's in the Marvel film. She gets a bit of that Disney money. And for some reason, it's flopped hard. Like, like hard. I think, Dave, how much had it made in this first week?
$4.8 million.
That's got to hurt.
That was probably just from one cinema.
No, but it's just from the same team that made the Jason Bourne films. So it's not.
Yeah, so it's a big action film, apparently.
Yeah, it's got a really good pedigree to it, but unfortunately, it's fallen to the wayside. Now I know there'll be a bit of fandom and those what is it? Those bros, the chads, going, "Oh, it's because it's women and women can't do action." I don't think that's the problem.
You know what? I actually looked at that, and it did come up on one of the
chats
at the bottom of one of the web pages, and I was laughing, and this woman just went into them.
Yeah, so rightly so, because again, I don't think it's got anything to do with that. I just think Spider-Man's too big, because remember, before Spider-Man came out, although some films had been hits, nobody was making $500 million. Nobody was making ridiculous amounts of money, and there was some being, especially with COVID, there's been some big releases that didn't make a huge amount of money. I think Zack Snyder's Justice League maybe brought in quite a lot of money through sales, but not through cinema, because it never got released in the cinema. What else was there, Dave? Was there any other? Let's get into some box. Let me get my mojo going. Because I don't think there was over the past 2 years.
It all kicked off originally with Black Widow, didn't it?
Suicide Squad, yeah. Suicide Squad, I don't think made that much money. Well, I know it didn't make that much money, but let's take 2021. It's quite funny because when Spider-Man was released, obviously it was released in 2021, but now it's 2022, and it still was a top grossing film.
10 days, Curtis. 10 days.
2020, it was Bad Boys for Life.
Wow, really?
In the US, that's the domestic box office.
That couldn't have made that much.
Yeah, it made a lot.
Really?
Yeah, and then 2019. Let's see if you can remember what was 2019. What was 2019's highest grossing film, Dave?
It would have been a Marvel film, probably.
What do you reckon it was, Dave?
What was out then? I don't remember that far back.
What do you reckon it was?
When did the last Avengers film come out?
Actually, I don't know why I'm doing that to you. It's not a horrible test. Basically, it was Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, see, I was right.
Yeah, so it literally we're looking at so it's literally smashing everywhere. But obviously, the 355's come out and it's struggling. The box office made $5.5 million. It's opened at less screens, obviously, which is part of the problem. It's been out 2 weeks, but yes, Spider-Man, is still cleaning up, and I think I'm not sure if it'll make. I'm not sure if it'll make $2 billion. It'll be lucky if it does that, but that's pretty impressive. Worldwide, the majority of money that 355's made has been internationally. So I haven't seen advertised that much. I've seen it on YouTube, but it's hardly been advertised. Which again,
I've seen the odd advertisement here and there, but it's not like thrown in your face like Spider-Man is. Like Spider-Man selling cars and everything else.
Well, they used Sony was the car thing was very good with Spider-Man, but you know what else they did? They utilized TikTok. And a lot of people, I don't know if you would have seen it, but on YouTube, they put a video.
I saw the one with them in the swimming pool. And he went to throw a basket and completely missed. And
that might have been the one, because what they did is they got all these YouTube videos and got people to do scenes from the trailer that they put out. And obviously, it was cheap looking, but they put it all together in adverts and stuff like that. So they did utilize TikTok a fair amount. And 355 didn't get that much love. And if 355 fails at the end of its run, I don't think it'll be because of the car.
But then there wasn't a lot of advertisement for the Matrix.
Yeah. Look, the Matrix may have failed either which way. When a film flops that hard,
back in the day used to pump out adverts for everything.
Yeah.
They used to sell Doritos and beer. Now
I think they could have made the trailers better. I really do. The film, I don't know, Dave. Do you know what I mean? Me and you have very different movie tastes, and it'll be interesting to see what you think of the Matrix when it finally passes your purview. But I think they could have used a lot. They could have made better trailers from the stuff that was in the film, and also they could have given a better excuse for the film's existence. And I don't think they made that case to the audience, because whenever I ask people who've seen The Matrix why, if they did or didn't like it, they're like, it was all right. But the action scenes, there wasn't enough action for people in this one, and I think that may have been the problem overall with it. And I just think it's
Matrix in it. It's an action movie.
Yeah, but remember, the first Matrix wasn't as action packed as the second and the third. And if they try and from what I could tell, they were trying to do. I think they missed a few beats where they could have done.
He can't John Wick everything, can he? Let's face it.
But there you go. It'll be interesting to see how John Wick's another film. Don't release anything near it. We're gonna go and watch it. But I think Spider-Man's too big now. Don't release films around Spider-Man. Give it more time. Let it have a month or two, and then do whatever. Because this film had hit. Spider-Man: No Way Home had.
But
hit
you can't release a month or two, though, can you? Because then you have Batman. Then you'll have
don't release films
Superman.
Like this.
Then you'll have Star Wars. There's always be something around that 2 month mark.
Yeah, but there's always time when they don't release those big movies. Valentine's, there's always periods of time. The month before Spider-Man came out, these, because when they do that to films like this, they hurt films like this quite badly.
And you had the Eternals month before, didn't
you? Yeah, 1 month before. Look at that.
And the month before that, you had Black Widow that came out on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but Eternals is, it's all right.
Well, I'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't care. It's all
is it tomorrow? What day is it today?
Monday. I need to see Wednesday. Admittedly, when I saw Eternals, I was tired. I enjoyed it. I think it was a good film. Would it have done better as a Disney series? Probably. But that's just me. I don't assume. But yeah, that happened, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The old Spider-Man's taken another scalp. The 355's dropped, and the Chads are happy that women apparently can't do action films, and that's like. I remember a time when I used to crave.
No, Bird of Prey was okay. Films. That was an all-on cast.
I think it was badly written. I loved the cast in it. I just think it was badly written. The cast themselves.
But the film itself wasn't too bad. It weren't like the worst of stuff.
No, it was enjoyable to watch. Absolutely. I think, again...
I mean, those Ocean's 11 films, they went way too far with big casts.
Yeah, I know, but when it's women, you see, Dave, you're not a Chad. You're not a bro. You enjoy women in action films, yeah? You enjoy...
they always wear tight clothes.
Yeah, I know. You come from Fulham, and I don't know what it is when like men enjoy it. I enjoy women in action films. Like, I really enjoyed that little scene in Bond with the little...
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you haven't. Oh. Spider-Man. He's the What was it? I forgot what it was. It was Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins the web, catches thieves, just like flies.
Yeah, just give it up.
Here comes Spider-Man.
This is why you didn't go to acting school.
In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime, like a street. No, okay, right. So, moving on. Talking of Bond, next James Bond. Apparently, they're planning on taking a younger Bond. And apparently so.
Apparently so.
Apparently, Tom Holland's thrown his hat into the ring. I personally think Tom Holland's too good looking to play Bond. And I think they need to get a book accurate. I'm not a Witcher fan. I'm not going to start moaning because they put black people in there. But I think Bond needs to look just rough. He needs to be more Bourne and a lot less like, hello, would you like a cup of tea? But yeah, Tom Holland. What do you think of Tom?
That's the way it's always been, isn't it? So
in the books, he's vicious. Like M hates him for starters.
Yeah, well, it's just like in the books, Jack Reacher's 6'6", big shit ass, and now eventually in the TV series they've done it. But during the
Yeah,
films,
but
he
in
was
the
little
film,
tiny
he
Tom
was-
Cruise.
Well, no, he was at top. We only knew that because Tom Cruise was short. In the film, Tom Cruise got shorter people to play against him.
Yeah, but
Tom Cruise ain't a midget.
He's not.
He's what, 5.
He's like 5'7".
That's an average height.
Yeah, but Jack Reacher was meant to be
No,
6'7" and
yeah,
built like a tank.
All right, look, I get what you're saying. All right, I'm not arguing that point. What I'm saying is, in the film, you're not necessarily able to tell that because the whole point is Tom Cruise got people who were shorter than him.
Or they stand 10 yards back.
Yeah. But there wasn't any point that you could tell that he wasn't.
Tom Cruise just wasn't Jack Reacher. I read the book before the film came out, so you already have that vision of what the character's going to look like, and then you see little man.
I don't know. I think look, Dave, I'm not being bad. Everybody's short to you. You know,
I could have played Jack Reacher.
No, you could have. You probably would have been a better Jack Reacher than the one we ended up with, to be quite honest, if I had my way. All right, well, Tom Holland's put his name in there. He said part of the reason he's done that is because of Uncharted, because he's doing that, and that was more like him making a claim for Bond. Uncharted.
If you're going to do a young one, he's probably a good enough person to do it, I suppose.
I guess so. I just think somebody new would be good.
I don't think there's anyone else young-wise, English.
True, if they go for someone really, really young. I don't know if another franchise is what Tom Holland needs. Because franchises inevitably define how the audience accepts.
But then didn't they do like a TV show of like a young James Bond?
No, there's a show called Alex Rider, which is sort of like that. And then there was a film, Alex Rider film, which was sort of like that. And I think his dad was meant to be Bond or something. But I don't think they've done a young James Bond. There's a book out about a young James Bond. But I think it'd be interesting to see. I'd put money on
that. The one-off film, then yeah, I think it'd work. Just like a prequel, how he became Bond and stuff like that. But then
cocaine, murder, and hookers. I think.
Yeah, probably.
Anyone
can join the MI6.
Well, at the moment, anyone can. They are asking for people from all sides of life. So if you'd like to be sat at a desk reading documents and looking at photographs and interfering in people's lives, MI6 is looking for you.
Get paid to do it.
I'm sorry, you thought it'd be like James Bond. Well, I do apologize for that. Unfortunately, it's a spy service. Not that, hey, let's put your wang out and kill people association. No. Like that, actual spies must hate like Bond, like the character. They must hate it because although it may get some of them laid, it's like in actuality their job's not that exciting.
We know someone that used to do stuff like that, so some of the stories he used to tell us.
Well, yeah, but exactly. Some of the stories we used to get told were not very exciting.
No,
and they weren't very good. And I'd say that the epitome of how non-James Bond the Secret Service probably is when those guys in Moscow tried to put a fake rock outside the security officer's building in Moscow, and they peed on it to make it seem like it was a rock, and clearly it was a listening device. And I was just like, is that the best you could do? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Secret Service is rubbish. But though it looks like the Chinese are the worst of the Secret Service. Like they built a building in Africa, the African Union building, and they literally just put listening devices in the cement. And they just kept finding them like, who would do this? But no hate to the Chinese. I love you. You're great. Just rubbish spies. And let's just sleep with America. Anyway, moving on. So Golden Globes happened last night. I don't know if I actually don't know.
Did they?
Did they? And I'm just going to shoot through it quickly because a lot of this stuff probably isn't that much interest to me overall. But Best Picture. Oh, okay. Oh, right. That's a Netflix wing, I think. So Belfast, Coda, Dune, King Richard, The Power of the Dog, I spoke to somebody who saw King Richard today. He said it was a brilliant film. I haven't seen Dune yet.
That the one with Will Smith?
Yeah, King Richard is the one with Will Smith. Yeah.
About the Williams.
Yes, and apparently it's a really, really good film. Belfast, I've heard people mention it. I have not seen it. Shame on my head for that. And when I look for it online, all that comes up is stories about murder. So I'll
probably what it's about.
I'm not kidding. This is about Belfast murder and Mark Hall. Okay.
And bombs.
I'm like, okay. Well, I'll leave that one alone for now, but I'll check that out. And Dune, obviously, Coda, I've got no idea about. I think it looks like a youthful love story of some kind. It's Apple TV. Ruby is a member. Oh, I know what this is about. You know what it's about. On Apple TV, it's a story about a girl who wants to sing, and she's parents are deaf. No? Okay, you haven't checked it out. But anyway,
I'm not a big movie watcher on Apple TV. They just don't interest me.
That's fair enough. The film
I have watched a couple of movies, the Tom Hanks ones, and one of them was really good and one of them was really bad.
Yeah. The film that did win was The Power of the Dog, about a rancher. I'm not too sure, but I think they say it's about a rancher who's in love or something. It's a psychological drama in the West.
In love with what, the horse?
I don't know, probably. But yeah, that won that picture. But I'm surprised Dune got in terms for a nominee. I'm very surprised, but there you go. Nominees for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. That went to surprise, West Side Story. That's a film that flopped hard. I think it made 10 million on its first week, and that got one. It was up against Serrano, which I don't think's really released over here yet, which is the wee fella from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Him,
and he's space pants.
Don't Look It Up. Licorice Pizza. Tick Tick Boom with Andrew Garfield. But West Side Story won that. What else do we care about? Best performance? You found a best performance in a motion picture?
Me.
Like, who performs best? You a fan of that sort of?
Who performs best?
Well, this one's quite interesting.
I don't understand all these awards, because you go watch a film and everyone rant and raves about a film, and the next minute it's a film that no one's heard of wins these awards, and it's like you go to watch it and it's the worst film you've ever seen.
Well,
so it just proves it's whoever's in the background with the most cash goes, give them the award so we can get this picture out so people can watch it.
I'm pretty sure that Will Smith didn't have the most cash, and he managed to win.
I bet he did. I bet he got paid a lot of cash.
He managed to win the Best Actor award, and he was up against Marsha Ali, Javier Bardem, being the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog, and blimey, he beat Denzel Washington.
So what are all these films that all these people have been in? I've never heard of any of them.
King Richard.
Yeah, that's the only one I've heard of, and that's like a big flop.
The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Where is it?
It's going to be on Apple next month.
So it's going to be. So it's not even out.
It's in the cinema. Yeah, it's in the cinema.
Yeah. Mate, this is what I mean about these award ceremonies. They're just stupid. The films ain't even out, and they're giving awards for them. How can you give an award to a film that's not even been out?
Because it's out somewhere.
If you want an award, you do the films from last year, not the ones that are coming out this year.
No, I think they've already been out. They had to have been out somewhere for people to give them an award.
Yeah, HBO Max that no one has.
Well, your favourite Andrew Garfield one, Best Actor in a Motion Picture, musical comedy.
The guy can't act for shit.
He beat Peter Dinklage, Leonardo DiCaprio, Anthony.
So you're telling me Andrew Garfield is a better actor than Leonardo DiCaprio and Peter Dinklage?
On this occasion,
no.
The nominee.
He goes, I'm going to be in Spider-Man, and my name's going to be thrown out there. So give me the award so it can just stay out there even longer.
West Side Story won Best Actress in a Motion Picture. Let's see, best supporting.
All these films flop. How can they be the best?
No, they didn't. West Side Story did. Well, they don't do hit films. The Golden Globes is more about the artisticness, the artistic level.
Yeah, well,
of the movie. It's more about the.
Can we go to something that we actually understand then?
I'm getting there. I'm trying to get Hans Zimmer. You know him, don't you?
Yeah, he done Batman.
Yeah, he won the best
soundtrack.
Score. Yeah, for Dune. There you go. Original song went to No Time to Die. All right, this one, TV dramas, right? Best series. All right,
Silent Witness.
Take a guess. You've got
Silent Witness was best TV series.
Okay, but you've got these nominations, right? Nominees: Lupin, The Morning Show, Pose, Squid Game, Succession. Who won, Dave?
I would say the Squid Game.
Succession was the winner. And
there you go. Biggest TV series of 2021.
Well,
Succession wins it.
Hacks. What's Hacks? No, I don't know that one. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is bad.
It's all bad. They're making the show bad.
No, our listeners are enjoying this.
I bet they're not. I bet they're switched off.
No, they haven't. They're loving this. Right, Squid Game did win an award though. I found it.
Best oldest actor.
Hold on, let me get this straight. Right, hold on. Nominee for best performance by an actor in a supporting role in a series, limited series, motion picture, motion picture.
It's a limited series, so why don't make it 2 more seasons?
Because that's still limited.
That's not very limited, is it?
Well, yeah.
No, because they cut off Rebel, great TV program, done 1 season, 10 episodes, never to be seen again.
We'll have a word with this.
That's a limited series, isn't it?
No, that's a series, limited series that lasted 1 season. Or motion picture.
It's all money role side bollocks.
Well, Rebel might come back. Just do a petition. My favorite show on one of my favorite shows on Disney Plus won an award, and that was Michael Keaton for best performance by an actor, and he won that for Dope Sick. Which, if you haven't watched it, please go and watch it. It is a really good show on how
it does drag though.
It does, but it is a long show. But it's got some great performances, and Michael Keaton's, I have to say, is especially good.
I think the other guy's good. The one from Men in Black.
Which one's he?
The main character. He was the Robin Williams lookalike in Men in Black. Might be Men in Black 2. Had the little alien inside his head.
Oh, him. Was he in it?
He's the main character. He's the one that farms off the truck.
Yeah. He's really good because he doesn't smile unless he's doing something evil. Which, like, I don't know if that was actually the case with this dude, but my God, he was like, yeah, I've got to make everybody an addict as much as I can.
No one can get addicted.
But it ended on such a sad note. But apparently, I found out that a family protected themselves against prosecution, but that protection is now gone. So people can sue them again, which I think is really, really good news. But yes, there you go. As David put it, the Golden Globes, which is of no importance to anybody anywhere in reality. And it's
probably why they all boycotted it. Not for it not being racist and stuff like that as well. That's why Will Smith won it, because of the race thing going off about.
Well, no, apparently he's
no black really members and stuff like that.
Well, no, nobody knows who the Golden Globe nomination board are. Nobody really knows who they are. Nobody knows what they do. But please don't underestimate King Richard. From all accounts, it's a really, really good film. So please do go and watch it. And knowing Will Smith, he probably did deserve it because he always does a film at least once.
No, I won't knock Will Smith because Will Smith's a good actor. He's done some really good films, like £7 and stuff like that. Films that people haven't heard of. He's done some good stuff.
He always does one film per year, which is like his Oscar shot. And he's never won an Oscar, so it'd be quite nice if he can win one for this. But the odds are against it, but we'll see. Right. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We'll get to that in a second, actually. You liked Hawkeye, didn't you?
I did. Do you know what? I did not realize that Kingpin was Private Pile and the guy from Men in Black.
Really?
No.
Okay.
But it didn't even cross my mind who he was.
Well, it has been a while since he was Private Pile. I mean, that film was out in the early
80s.
80s. Was it 80s?
Yeah. Full Metal Jacket.
Vincent D'Onofrio. He was also in Western, which has left my mind. But basically, a lot of people had a problem with the fight that happened at the end when he's fighting Kate.
When he got blown up and thrown across the room.
Yeah, and like I remember. I get that, but I don't think it's anything to do with the fight not being good. It's to do with seeing a fat guy move quickly, right? Because I remember I remember the fight he had with Daredevil. Do you remember in the alleyway that he has that mad fight with Daredevil?
Mm.
And it gave me the same feeling. And it's just that they haven't quite laid down what the Kingpin's abilities are. Like if it's just rage. Right, and he's able to fight because his
rage gives him superior strength, doesn't it?
Yeah. So when people moan about that scene, it looked awkward, but I looked awkward because we aren't used to seeing that type of thing, and I don't have a problem with it. It's like some people are really upset that Kate went toe to toe with the Kingpin and he didn't smash her up like proper killer. But
he should have probably battered her up.
Yeah, but he didn't. Do you know what I mean? Do you imagine that?
That's because it's Disney.
No. It's not just because it's Disney, Dave. It's Marvel. It's Disney, and it's a family show. Do you imagine, like, little kids sat there and this big fat dude's just laying into Kate? Don't talk in Marvel films. Please don't bring realism to it. Because if you bring too much realism to a Marvel film, you ain't getting no Marvel. Let's be very, very clear on that one, at least. Do you know what I mean?
I know she's like a junior and stuff in this, but she's meant to be
martial artist.
That's what I mean. She's meant to be well trained at doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the punch, she gets beaten up all the time.
Well, no, because she's not honed. Remember, it's her confidence that stops her from doing stuff. And just for the record, they had
when she's been doing actual physical fights, she just gets slapped around all the time.
That's just the confidence thing with her. I think she'll get better over time. And seeing as she's mates with Black Widow now, I think she'll step up a bit more. But I enjoyed it, and I don't think they. Yeah, but then that
made Yelena look like she was a pussy when she started fighting her. And it's like, come on, man.
Come on. Yelena was just holding back because Yelena didn't want to kill her. So don't be like that.
Yeah, I understand that, but I wanted to at the end.
You just wanted to see two women get their clothes off and fight. That was it.
That never happens.
That used to happen back in the day.
Yeah.
The clothes used to fly off. Maybe that's what the Chads really want.
Maybe.
But yeah, I just think, it fitted the character for me, and it reminded me a lot.
No, don't get me wrong. The show was really good.
But yeah,
but there were some really bad aspects in it.
Well, yeah, there always will be. There always will be. But don't bring the realism to Marvel. I don't know why people keep doing that. Do you know what I mean? If you did that, there'd be no point in Hawkeye's existence. Because ain't nobody firing a bows like that, like Hawkeye does. Okay, it just doesn't happen. But there you go. People can take it or leave it. People can take it or leave it. But I thought I'd go over that first before we went on to our next story, which was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
You could have done it better because you could have gone straight from Will Smith into The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because that would have been a good link because he played The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air originally.
I know, but I think I upset our listeners so much. I didn't want to
talking about so much the same person. Okay, go on, carry
on. When I was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, obviously was one of the most successful comedy series of all time. And it's finally, I think a few people I've heard had this idea of doing a serious version of it. But one brave man made a short trailer of a serious version of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And Will Smith saw it. And Will Smith went, well, I like that idea. And has actually produced a new series for Peacock in the States, which I think over here
you can see. Peacock's its own channel now on Sky, actually.
It'll be over here probably on Sky, I guess, maybe even Netflix. We'll see.
But no, because Peacock's on TV over here. We've got our own Peacock channel now.
Oh yeah, but they don't get all the shows that they have.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
okay. It's an app as well, so you get all Saved by the Bell and all that crap.
So the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is getting a serious twist, and that's going to be coming out this year. I've seen the first trailer. Did you get a chance to watch the trailer?
No. It's not going to ruin my childhood. This is one thing I'm not going to watch.
Well, no, it won't ruin your childhood because it's a different thing, isn't it?
No, it's not going to have Jazz. Show. It's not going to have Uncle Phil. No, I'm not watching it.
No, they're all in it.
No, I'm not watching it.
No, Jazz is in it.
Yeah, you can talk about all you want on your latest edition.
Uncle Phil.
This is all on your own. Uncle Phil's dead.
Well, no, it's not got the original cast in it.
No, that's right. So you're not going to have my mate Jeffrey or nothing. So no, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, but it's a different. Anyway, it's a different. If it's a different show, it's not the original.
It's a reboot. I'm not watching a reboot. It's like watching another crappy Star Wars film, isn't it? It's not going to happen.
It's not a comedy. So the trailer's quite good.
So what's the point then?
Because it's a serious version. It's
him getting beaten up in Philadelphia because he's so good. No.
Yeah. It's gonna have the scene. It's gonna have a lot more scenes of the scenes out in the school, and I think it's hour-long shows as opposed to the original half hour that you used to have for the original series. It looks fantastically good. My only issue is the guy they picked for Uncle Phil is a very slim, handsome-looking guy. And the one thing, Uncle Phil did so much for big men, and as a big man, it would have been nice if they had another big man as that character. But apart from that, it looks good. I don't know.
Like I'm fat.
Yeah.
Is this a young Uncle Phil?
I want to say he was much younger than he was.
Is this a prequel or it's just going to link into the old show?
No, it's not connected to the old show at all.
So is it still him about to go to Bel-Air and stuff like that?
Yeah, but it's got nothing to do with the old show.
So it's just going to, no. It's going to be like watching Riverdale.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I suggest you give it a shot. I'm going to try and get Dave to watch it as much as he protests. I think
I'm protesting now, and you watch it come out, and it'd be the best thing in the world. And I'll be ranting and raving. I'll be eating my hat. But at the moment, no.
All right, moving on. We got Black Adam. The toy listings have come out, and there's likely going to be loads of characters. I found an article talking about a major villain. I don't think it's a major villain, but what do I know? But they mentioned that Black Adam is going to be going through a few costume changes, and they've got characters like Hawkman and all the rest being mentioned in it. So that looks like it's going to be quite an exciting film. I don't know if it's going to be a success because it's another film where The Rock's playing a god.
DC film.
So I don't know if there's going to be a big enough draw to get people to get into the cinema.
There's actually been any decent DC films. There hasn't really, is there?
They have all been quite decent, but I just think Marvel have done something to the superhero market that make it hard for DC. Like Marvel films.
No, DC made it harder for themselves by putting all these shows on constantly all year round.
Well, no, I don't think that was the problem. I just think
I think it is because now people are trying to associate with these characters. And they're just childish, and then they're trying to beef them back up again. And it's
I don't think that's a problem. I just think they're very traditional superhero stories. They follow the same format as Smallville. I don't think the format of a lot of these shows have changed since Smallville, and I think that Marvel sort of moved on from.
Yeah, but you got to remember with Smallville, he never actually got his powers.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of plotting, it was still the same stuff. So, I really fancy her. Should I tell her? Well, yeah,
but that's like every high school drama, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what the DC stuff is, and I think that's the difference between them and Marvel. But also, you can't tell traditional Marvel films aren't traditional superhero fare. So if you look at the original films were Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, right? But then look at what Iron Man was. He was a weapons trader that became a superhero, but not a superhero going, I'm Iron Man, I'm going to save the world. He was like, I'm just doing my thing. Do you know what I mean? I'm incidentally being a hero by doing the stuff I'm doing. And then by the end of it, with Endgame, it was about a monster coming to Earth wanting to end all half-life on Earth. And it drew people into that film.
Let's be fair, he wanted to end life everywhere.
Yeah. Which drew people into the story. But if you look at DC films, they don't draw people in. They're just very standard, classic superhero storytelling narrative systems.
Which just repeat.
Audiences don't care for it anymore. I think that was a big difference between why Wonder Woman, the first one, was such a huge success, and everybody was very meh with Superman and Batman. Do you know what I mean? It didn't bring anything new to the table. It just jacked up what happened before, and then gave you.
But then with Wonder Woman, you haven't had Wonder Woman as a film, have you? You had the TV series back in the 70s, 80s.
Which goes back to my point, Dave, and you're proving my point. Wonder Woman should have been the first film. The whole DC universe should have been focused around Wonder Woman. It would have given you a lot more storytelling routes to take. And if you weren't doing a detective Batman type, which they should have done, as opposed to this brawler, you could have made Wonder Woman the character that brought them all together. Do you know what I mean? Wonder Woman could have gone round. She knows about Doomsday. She knows about it's not Doomsday, is it? It's Darkseid. She knows about Darkseid because there are people for him. She could have just gone round and brought the warning, gathered the heroes. Boom, job's done. But DC got Batman to do that, and then Superman doesn't seem to even care. And then he's dead.
They got Superman when he was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this no more. I'm done."
So
I hate being Superman.
I don't think the CW stuff affects anything much. I just think if you're going to tell stories about superheroes, they've moved on. I thought they would have learned that from Batman, like the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight trilogy was probably the best trilogy DC have done.
Yeah, but then
we don't talk about the third film, eh?
I like the first film. I don't have a problem with
it. I
do,
but it was the worst. It was the worst out of the three.
Yeah, and only because they didn't bring back the Joker, in my view.
Well, he died.
The actor died.
Yeah, well, you can't top that Joker performance. That was one of the best you'd ever see.
They say that about every Joker that comes.
No, that was a proper good role. He'd done that really good.
I know, but I think that's where it happened. That's where it struggled. And I'll say the same thing about Star Wars. Carrie Fisher passing is why those films sort of fluctuated the way they did, and why they struggled in the end, because they just weren't able to. I think she was.
Well, I don't think the others wanted to do it anymore after that.
The what?
I don't think they wanted to do it after that anymore.
Oh, they will. Something will happen.
They're all dead.
What else is there?
There's only Ray left.
Jackass. That, like, the Jackass films have been, if anything, epitomized the early 2000s.
I actually watched Jackass 3 the other day because it was on telly.
Does it still hold up?
I was still laughing. Yeah. Stupidity would always make you laugh.
Jackass 4's coming out soon. They've got the whole team back together, apart from one guy who went off the rails, I believe.
And the few that are dead.
Yeah. And I think they're bringing through a new generation as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of new people I've never seen before.
Yeah, and it looks like, it's back. They're going to go crazy than ever before. Steve-O's back, Johnny Knoxville. Steve-O, who has gone through a lot, I think, from when he started, where he was an addict and everything, to where he's now, where he doesn't do drugs, where he's focused on well-being, but he's still doing Jackass, which for me, if I had to get up and do Jackass, I'd be like, nope. Nope. I quit. But would you?
If someone's offering you so much money, you're going to do it.
Dave, listen
to hang around with your mates and flick each other in the nuts. That's what men do.
I want you to look me in the eyes. I would never, no matter how much money was offered to me, do Jackass. Not a season, not an episode, not a moment. Because that's the moment I know I'm going to die.
I'll do it for free.
I bet you would. But yeah, did you watch the trailer? Did you catch any? Have you caught any trails for that one? Or
yeah, I caught the trailer.
What do you think?
It doesn't look as extreme as the originals, but then it's just the trailer, so they ain't gonna show the best bits.
Yeah, Well, good on
Yeah,
them.
it looks like the TV show, and I used to enjoy the TV show. I used to come home on a Friday night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, bang on MTV, sit there with your mates, have a couple more drinks, have a joint, and then just watch that and just wet yourself.
Well, it's nice to see him back. I did get worried about Johnny Knoxville because Johnny Knoxville his career was on the up for a while.
Well, yeah, he was doing a lot of serious films at one stage, wasn't he?
And I think he still does the odd guest appearance in movies and stuff like that. But it's a shame he wasn't able to make as much of it as I thought he could have. Like, I thought it would have been like Marvel would have been like, oh, let's give him some money. But it'd be nice to see. It's nice to have him back. I'll almost certainly watch the film at some point, especially if they do the grandpa stuff that they've done before, which I especially love. But that's Jackass the movie. It's coming out this year. It's put a final trailer out, so you can catch it in the cinema soon, I presume. Another show that's making a welcome return is The Boys. Now, the reason I mentioned The Boys, we've mentioned it a few times. We know season 3 is coming, is because they recently announced that one of the most salacious issues of The Boys comic book run, Herogasm, will be part of the season 3 storyline. And the reason for it is absolutely brilliant. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it sort of takes a piss so well of the whole Marvel thing. And yeah, it's definitely worth watching. And hopefully you'll find it as enjoyable as I did. The Boys, I think, is still one of the best products on on Amazon Prime. So even it's had a lot of competition recently, don't get me wrong, but it's still, I think, one of the best products on Amazon Prime.
What competition's it had?
Well, it's Expanse and
like I said, what competition is it?
Wheel of Time, the Expanse. They've all
where's the competition?
Anyway, so Dave, are you looking forward to season 3?
The Expanse and the Wheel of Time. That is, if that's competition, that's like just throwing in a little child against 12 men and playing football.
Are you looking forward to season 3 of The Boys?
Oh yeah, of course. I liked it. I enjoyed it. That's a nice hip flask you got there.
It's not. Well, that's not really unless that big. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I just want to know what you're looking forward to the most. I mean, it's been second season wasn't as good as the first season.
First season was really good.
Fantastic moments.
But the second season was very dark.
Yeah. Well, Stormfront.
Yeah, he just went around killing everyone. It was like watching Invincible, the cartoon, really, wasn't it?
Well, no, he didn't kill that. There was that scene when he finds those guys in his house.
He went crazy and just started blowing everyone up.
Yeah, it's like, no, but that was just his imagination.
Yeah, but
when he was talking with
that was my imagination, just him blowing everyone up.
No, that looked good. I really.
I hope there's a lot more C-bombs. I do love a C-bomb in a film or program.
What did I tell you, kid? Oh, you said that. Don't be a. But yeah, Herogasm is coming, and I'll tell you, if they pull off Herogasm, I will never question the boys' ability to tell a story ever. Stormfront, I assume, is going to make a return at some point. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how crazy.
They got to put on some more casts because they killed quite a few of them off, didn't they?
Well, no, just Stormfront, I think, got the chop in terms of the heroes. The 7, it was only Stormfront that went down, wasn't it? The rest are still there.
I thought the black guy died as well.
What, the black guard?
The runner goes really fast.
No, he's still alive.
Okay. Then he lost his power though, didn't he? He was having like heart attacks and stuff.
No, he was losing his power, and then he took another drug, and I think he's now back to speed. Normal.
I can't remember. I must have to watch it again, really.
I think, yeah, that would be. Do you know what? I keep saying, and listeners, please tell me, we should do a watch along at some point. We'll set it up so we watch like a film or whatever, record while we're watching it.
That'd be a good awkward silence, wouldn't it?
Well,
all the feedback from different internet speeds.
No, because we do audio commentary.
Okay.
So you have to talk, Dave. I mean.
And here goes the man walking up the stairs.
Yeah, you'd have to talk, Dave. That would be one of the side effects of it, but it's quite enjoyable. Another upcoming show which popped. Well, there's 2 shows that have. No, 3 of them. Right. The last episode of Expanse is coming out this week, and I think they're going to announce at least 1 film. Amazon, because The Expanse has been such a huge success.
And must be some crazy people out there.
Season.
Must be those Trekkies.
It's definitely the last season, and I think they're going to announce a film after this, because I don't think they're going to announce another series. It's going to be at least 1 or 2 films.
It's another Babylon 5, isn't it? It has this little mini cult following of crap.
I don't care what David says, because Expanse is so good. So yeah, I think that's going to be a really, really good thing that they do it into a film format, because I think The Expanse deserves it. It's been such a thrilling roller coaster ride. The first season will make or break many a person, and I'm not going to criticize them for it, but I do think it's worth the journey, and it has been like they created a universe around this. And for you, if you haven't seen it, it's the first season is a bit much to get through, but it is worth it. It's set
really never against that. Only watching 3 episodes.
Set around a future world
enough.
Where you got the people who live on Earth, and then you've got the Belters, and you've got Mars. Martians want to make the Mars habitable, so they're trying to make the atmosphere breathable. And Belters basically are people who are born in space and with low gravity, so they're usually taller, longer limbs, and they've got their own language, which is a mixture of patois and I think like Eastern European.
Oh wow!
So it's a mixture of that, but it's their own sort of language, and it's just a beautifully told story. And at the moment, we're building up to an end, which involves possible aliens, possible war, and oh, you mother! I'm about to whoop somebody's ass. I'm about to whoop somebody's ass. But for me, it's an absolute joy. I know Dave hates it passionately, but you know what? I hate Fast and Furious, but I'm going to.
Yeah, but you're the one that goes on about it all the time. I don't.
I respect his view.
I like a cheesy crap film.
Right. So the other one coming out is Peacemaker. I don't think this is going to be a big hit.
I reckon it's going to be a massive hit.
I'd love it to be a big hit.
I reckon it's going to be a massive hit.
But I think it might struggle a bit.
No, but it's going to have good comic value.
I hope so. Look, Dave, I ain't arguing with you.
I actually watched Suicide Squad the other day again because I thought, do you know what, I'm going to give it one more chance because I thought it was really stupid before. And just watching Idris Elba and John Cena go off with each other with their jokes, it was funny. There is some good, stupid jokes in that film. So I think the TV show is the perfect way to go through it.
Yeah, but it's John Cena
instead of doing another movie. Yeah, but he plays a dumb fuck, a big dumb fuck, and that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be hilarious.
Look, I hope so. In the comic books, his character is actually.
Was you not laughing at the trailer?
No, in the comic books, his character.
Really? You didn't laugh at the trailer? See, this is the difference between me and you. I like good comic value.
Kiss my ass.
Stupid comedy is the best comedy because it just makes you laugh.
I'm hoping it's going to be good. I did actually enjoy the trailer. I don't have a problem with it. I just think that type of humor, it's very gonzo humor. And
it's the sort of humor people need at this present time of moment.
You say that, but the Suicide Squad didn't do that well in the cinema. And I think, that sort of humor.
Because they killed Captain Boomerang in the first 10 minutes. But could you imagine John Cena and Captain Boomerang going off against each other? That would have been hilarious.
We'll see. But yeah, that's out in the next month, I think. In the UK, it's out on HBO. HBO in the
February,
States.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and it'll be
February.
out in the UK, I presume, on Sky, if not one of the other channels like Netflix or whatever managed to get to it first.
It's not going to be released over here until the end of the year, probably, because
no. I think it'll come up.
When it comes to this sort of stuff with rubbish,
especially if Netflix get in there, because Netflix like that sort of gonzo cult.
Netflix will never get a HBO Max program.
They will.
No.
Yeah, they will. They've already got some, I believe. Titans. is on Netflix, and that's a HBO.
Yeah, but that's bad.
What was that?
First 2 seasons of that were really good. This last season, I literally sit there on my iPad and just look up now and again.
Look,
this season has been the worst thing I've seen in a long time.
I don't know. I need to rewatch the last episode again and decide how
I have struggled to watch every episode I've watched.
I
could probably honestly say out of 45 minutes of an episode, I'm probably watching 10 minutes an episode.
That's harsh, Dave.
No, it's the truth. It's not harsh. I'm literally just picking up my phone or doing something else because I'm just not interested.
All the effort and work they put into that, and
all the effort and work I've wasted in electricity bills.
Right.
Just to get a show out.
The other, I found you, ladies and gents. I found your next Squid Games. I think this is actually going to be a bit of a hit because
this actually looks really good.
Yeah, the amount of effort they've put into the zombies, which you don't like over in UK cinema. The zombies are usually either really fast or really slow. This one, the zombies are doing really funky stuff. Like the stuff they're getting the zombie actors to do. I
saw them flip over into like the crab and running off in the crab position and stuff like that.
I was just like, okay. And it's set in a school as well. It reminds me of High Schoolers Are Dead, the anime in the which only had 1 season, but it looks a bit better put together than that. But it's All of Us Are Dead.
So it didn't win awards for a limited series.
Well,
because it only had 1 season, so that was a limited series.
Oh my good God! Like, look at you, Sherlock Holmes, like bringing up something from ours. Like, what's wrong with you? All of Us Are Dead. That's hitting on the 29th of January on Netflix. I believe it'll be worldwide release. So look out for that. I'm going to put money on it. It's going to be your next Squid Games.
I think it will be.
It's definitely going to
be. It looks really good. But the only thing I hate is the dubbing. The syncing of dubbing is really bad in this. If they can line up the syncing, it'd be really good.
The syncing of what?
The dubbing. Because it's all in Korean.
Oh, I usually watch it in Korean.
And when I watched Squid Game,
yeah,
I had it with subtitles, but I had it on my speaker through my computer. And when they were speaking, it lined up the dubbing really well, like the delay. But as soon as you watch on the telly inside, it was all over the place.
Okay, didn't know that.
So if they could do that and fix half of these foreign programs, we could do better reviews because I'll sit there and watch them.
I like Cobra Kai. We did a review of Boba Fett last week, so we don't need to do that. Venom 2, we've done a review of that. So hopefully there'll be some more stuff for us to review next week. There hasn't been much.
We watched The Last Duel.
Huh?
We watched The Last Duel together.
Oh, Last Duel. I guess we okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the review of The Last Duel.
It was shit.
It wasn't. Look, do you know
Massive
what?
cast.
For me, it's
it was 3 stories in one, wasn't it?
Basically. It was a 3-hour horror story. And when I say that, I mean, to me, rape as a subject is a horrific thing. And the film's about that, but it's about the horror of being in an environment where it's treated. I know they sort of, all the characters, apart from the female character, treat it like, thank God we're not in the Dark Ages anymore. So a lot of people reminisce about the Dark Ages and about how great, like, empires grew and all the rest of it. But I'm sorry, the people were crazy. These were nasty times.
They were nuts.
They were nuts. And to have, let me get the
this was based in medieval France, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like this woman not only has to deal, and I don't want to the film's on Disney Plus, and I don't want to spoil it for people, but I can see why it wasn't a hit film. These are not the type of films that are necessarily hit films. They're the type of films that people will watch. People will watch a lot of. But if you're going to make a film like this, you really got to understand just how wicked these people were, and irrationally so. And jokes aside, I can see why this film wasn't a big hit. It was, as far as I'm personally concerned, it was never gonna be a big hit. And I'm surprised that the problem with it is a massive budget film, but a massive budget film about rape, which isn't really about rape. It's about how medieval geezers didn't handle it very well. That's what it's about. What did you like? I'll go into a bit some more, but let me just get your initial view on it, Dave. What was your take on it?
It was a 3-hour film that could have probably been 45 minutes long, but it literally was an hour of their own perspective of 3 different people. And it was such a big cast, and you thought, oh, this is going to be... I didn't know nothing about the story. I didn't read the previews or anything. I thought, oh, this is just going to be knights in shining armor, big battles, and...
Which there are.
There is a couple of battles at the beginning, but then it just turns into this whole story of what happened when she got raped.
Yeah.
And it was like...
Well, no,
oh, did you find it pleasurable? If you found it pleasurable, then you cannot have a child. And it's like, what?
How crazy they were back then. But that is partly my thing. My thing was, it wasn't really about the rape. There's the films about the friendship between Matt Damon and Adam Driver. And basically Adam Driver plays this sort of caricature of, when you think villain, like he plays it like he's your best mate, unless he needs something. And
it was like the Lothario, wasn't he? He just went around sleeping with everything that moved.
He's going to upset you at some point. And it's really like, what makes the film very confused is there's scenes where people are acting sexually inappropriately, and Adam Driver's character takes advantage of certain characters in certain scenes. Now, during these scenes, you can't tell whether the one scene in particular that happens early on in the film, there's an orgy, what looks like a wife swapping going on, right? But one of the characters is held down, which I'm like, well, hold on a second, yeah. What is this scene actually saying? And this is my problem with the film. It makes everything, it blurs the moral core of it to the point that you feel sympathy. Matt Damon's character in this is a bastard. There are no redeeming characters in this. He plays Jean de Caroges, who's a big hero, but an asshole, yeah? Adam Driver's character's a bastard and an asshole too. Jodie Comer is the only one who's like, do you know what? She's the woman and she's vulnerable.
Treated like a witch.
Yeah. Just because she didn't want Adam Driver all up in her action here.
Yeah.
And literally, if this, and I don't know how much research they did, but credit to the director, which was Ridley Scott, because some of the scenes you're sat there, like I'm sure Dave, me and you were. Look, I was watching it, and there was a scene where they go, "Hey, well, you mentioned it before. The whole thing about you have to orgasm."
Do you find it? Yeah, if you find it pleasurable, then you can't get pregnant. Yeah, so how are you pregnant with this child?
Well, and I'm like, why are they having this discussion with Matt Damon's character? I'm like, literally, they show what Matt Damon does is pretty much tantamount to rape anyway at one point in the film. So I've got no sympathy for either of these characters, and poor Jodie Comer's in the middle of it. And not only should she have to deal with Adam Driver and Matt Damon's stupidness, yeah, but her mother-in-law, played by Harriet Walter, she's brilliant. She's just the whole sourpuss thing, like the cheeks, like she literally just sets her up, Jodie's character, to fail. And it's a telling thing that the Jodie Comer, she does such a brilliant run at this. I think she definitely deserved an award for this film. And it is a shame it flopped, but I do get why it is, because it was presented as a 3-hour film about rape, and it's not. It's a film about how medieval Europe was messed up, bruv. And I don't care what anybody says. If you made it out in the medieval or dark ages, you deserve an award. especially if you're a woman. Any woman that lived during the medieval times just deserves an award for the shit they had to put up with. Because I'm sorry, I just can't get out of my head the scene.
If he would have put a chastity belt on her, nothing would have been happening. She would have been fine.
She probably would have died from lead poisoning or something.
Probably.
I mean, yeah. And it was just like this need.
And not once did he blame his mother for leaving her alone.
No, it was almost like it was set up.
Yeah.
To be that way. Now.
And there was no aliens either. This is what I was quite shocked about.
I know Ridley Scott hated it when somebody said it's one of his most grounded films, but it really is one of his most grounded films. There's no heroes in this film. There's no. It's not clear cut who's the bad guys and who's the good guys. Personally, I don't think it needed to be
the bad guy. We know that.
Well, yeah, but everybody's bad in this film, and I think the story didn't really need telling from 3 different points of views. In a way, it did. I think they could have just done that as the story was going along, because it wasn't like a big mystery. And
well, it literally it like ended the chapter, didn't it? And then it saw another point of view, because Adam Driver thought she was in love with him, but then she was just saying stuff to her husband.
Adam Driver knew she wasn't. It was just Adam Driver was like,
but in his head that she was in. He was so fantasized about her. He just loved her so much.
Adam Driver had literally, by the sounds of it, grown up with Jimmy Savile, because if you said no to
that's because everywhere he went, Ben Affleck went, "Yeah, you can have that if you want. Get your cock out."
It was like nobody said no to Adam Driver. Adam Driver's character didn't understand what no meant, and it sounded like none of those medieval men understood what no meant, because literally, Marguerite says no to Adam Driver says no to Adam Driver, and he doesn't take a bit of notice. And there's no circumstance in that environment of what happens in the scene when the actual rape takes place that you would consider anything else but rape. But whether it was rape or not, what they did in medieval times was like, well, she enjoyed it, and that was it. So it doesn't matter what you said, what brutalization took place. And I'm just like, I didn't need that telling from 3 different sides. I really didn't need that. But it's well produced. It's a sumptuous set, beautiful scenes, set design, costumes.
So what are you going to give it out of a 10?
Hold on, before I get there. And can I just say, I wasn't expecting to see Ben Affleck pop up for start.
with a mad goatee.
Yeah, and like a lot of these characters pop up, but by far the biggest villain of the film for me is Tallulah Haddon, who played her mate Marie, who blatantly just betrays her, almost jealous that she wasn't the one who got assaulted by Adam Driver's character. And there's echoes of what this film says about today, and I don't mean to get into too much politics, but by God, Adam Driver deserves a freaking Oscar. He's a brilliant actor, and I hope he doesn't just end up being villains throughout his career, because he's superb in this film.
He's always the villain, isn't he?
Yeah. And
Kylo Ren turned good.
Yeah. But again, like I said, there's no good guys or bad guys in this film. They're all bastards, as far as I'm concerned. And if I'm going to give it a rating, I'll give it a total of 3 out of 5 bounties. There you go.
No, it's out of 10.
Out of 10. Okay, 7. I think it's a good film. I think, give yourself credit. It's not that hard to sit through it. I just think it could have been a lot better.
It wasn't hard to actually sit through it. We did actually sit all the way through it. I was actually quite shocked at that and didn't switch off.
As far as I'm concerned, Ridley Scott's most historical and accurately historical.
But this is our first rating of the year, isn't it?
Yeah. It's on the list. Well, it's 7. If it's 7, we need to create a spreadsheet, don't we? And it gets 7, yeah. So it goes in at a 7 out of 10 bounties. What, Dave? I ranted on there long enough. What was your take? How did it swing with you?
It was watchable. It was a watchable film. It was okay. I actually didn't mind it. It did go on for a long time. And like you said, the characters were individually they were good characters, but they were all bastards. Apart from the poor girl who they treated like a witch. Literally, they were going to kill her if Adam Driver beat her husband in a duel.
Yeah, but I think she would have preferred death. I really like.
Yeah.
Why would you want to hang around with people that like these? I'm sorry, these people were crazy.
So as I made my way through it, and it wasn't quite a good film.
Yeah.
Ish. I'm only going to give it a 6.
Woo! Okay, that's a 6. No, that's fair enough. You know what? I'm going to take mine down. I'm going to take mine down to a 6 because I think I liked it. I enjoyed it, but
yeah, it wasn't like a film, was it? It's like
no, it was.
It was watchable.
It's Ridley Scott's finest piece of historical drama. It just.
What's his only piece of historical drama?
No, he did the other one, Kingdom of Heaven. Do you remember that one?
No.
It was one where you had Orlando Bloom going to the Middle East to fight the Crusades.
Oh yes, I do remember it now.
Yeah,
I give that one a 2.5 out of 10.
Huge fan of that, but it was, and obviously to a degree Gladiator, but that's fictional in terms of the detail on that. But I would say that at the end of the day, I did enjoy it, and I just think it needed a bit more. But bless Ridley Scott for giving it a shot. Really,
giving us our first review of the year.
He's given us the most accurate portrayal of the Dark Ages and why they called that shit dark. Because these people were crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. That was a review of the Last Duel. Thank you for watching the show. It's been a pleasure having you. We'll be back next week with more. Why, Dave? Why will we be back next week with more?
Because we have no lives and we are the boys from Bossk.
Well, a life, you have a life, but we
not
are
anymore. I'm stuck in my shed forever.
So the boys from Bossk, taking you through that COVID journey to get you to the other side. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll be back with more next week.
And hopefully Mike.
And hopefully Mike will join us because Mike's beautiful, and we'll have some news other than Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves like no. Okay.
Will we have any more news next week?
We probably.
Is there actually anything coming out this week, or is it just going to be whatever we find?
Whatever we find, I'm sure there'll be something coming out. We've got next episode.
Apparently, the Fantastic Four has been released on Disney Plus.
No, but it already was here.
What? So, no, the one before the Silver Surfer.
No, that still hasn't been released.
I thought it was the original one they were releasing.
No. It's basically that article I think was talking about the States because we get a lot of stuff they don't have in the States, and they don't have the Fantastic Four, the 2000. I think it was.
No, because we got the Rise of the Silver Surfer. I thought we were getting the original one as well.
Not yet. I don't know. Okay, who that off to.
Fake news, Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump, it's your fault. But even with trade, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. I know we have a growing family online. Dave, 30% of our audience comes from foreign territories. Last week it was 25%. It grows up even more. So I know you're growing out there, ladies and gents. Please leave your feedback. Please leave your requests. If there's anything you want us to watch, obscure or otherwise, let us know. This is the boys from Bossk. Spider-Man.